Hello, it's Lou Collins here with another template guide for you. So we're going to be looking at the braided cards template from Craft World, and I absolutely adore using this technique. It adds a little bit of something special to an otherwise possibly a plain card. So sometimes if you feel your card's lacking a little bit, you can do this. You can do it at the beginning as you're planning your card, or you could even actually add it in at the end when you think, what else can I do? So the template comes with 5 of these strips printed on it. So you only usually need to use one per card, but you can also reuse them if you're careful. So you've got plenty to work with just by printing the template off the once. So what I'm going to do is take a card base, and I'm going to keep this card base folded. I'm actually going to add a tiny little bit of a stencil glue. Now this is a repositionable glue, so just a couple of tiny little dots of this glue to the back of my template. You can do this with a repositionable spray, or you can otherwise simply hold this in place if you'd rather. Now I am going to place the template down into the bottom corner against the spine of my card. So that's the fold of the card here. And I'm going to make sure that the lines are facing towards the outer edge. Now what I'm going to go in and do is take some scissors, and I'm going to cut along each of the lines through my card base to the end. And you'll notice that the lines go from long and to short, and then long and short, and it alternates like so. So where it looks actually as if it's lots of different length of lines, they're not. They're just the 2 different lengths there. So I'm going to keep going along the length of this, and then I'm going to take my template up, move it along and finish this end piece, because my card base is a little longer than the template that I've cut out. So now I've got all of my lines cut into the side of my card. What I now need to do is to open my card base up. So from here we're going to start doing the folding process. So we're going to start with this second one here. Now as you look at your arrows, you'll notice that some look longer than others. We want to be looking at longer ones. It doesn't really matter which ones, in all honesty, you bring down, as long as we're alternating them. So I'm going to bring down this one to me that looks longer, and then the next one. So I'm going to leave one down, fold one down. I'm then going to leave one down and fold one down, and I'm going to keep doing this, alternating throughout the card spine, all the way until I get to the point where if I was to then fold this base one down, I won't actually have anything to finish it off with. So I'm going to fold that anyway and show you how you can do that, just to make that look a little more finished. Okay, so now we've got these down, we need to start at the bottom. This one doesn't have anything to tuck under it, so what I'm going to do is take a tiny amount of wet glue, and I'm just going to adhere the tip of this arrow to the base of the card there. You don't need to add glue to the rest of them. I'm just doing this to finish this bottom one off. Now for the no glue ones, we're going to take each of these and tuck it under the little point that's below it. As you can see, when you fold it down, there'll be a little point to tuck it under. So we are essentially braiding the card, the triangles or the arrows, into each other like so. Now if you want to ensure everything stays in place, 2 things you can do. You can burnish these edges with something like a scoring tool. You can also go in and add a tiny amount of glue. I like to do this if I'm going to be posting the card, for example, if I'm not going to be giving it and I don't want it to have come apart in its travels. So just a tiny little bit of glue, just little dots under each arrow just to hold them. Being careful not to put any glue on the actual spine. So I'm doing it either side of the points. So when that's all dry, if you have added glue, and like I say, it's not essential, now we need to fold this back. By folding this back, what we're going to be doing is reverse folding. So where we've folded or had our score line in the past, the arrows that we've bent back, we are now folding in the opposite direction. So you may find you'll need to just squeeze these as you go, just to make that fold nice and secure. Now this bottom one, I just like to trim this off there. We've added some glue to hold those pieces down. So trim that off, and then we can fold our card like so. We don't need to worry about these top pieces. You've got two options here. You can either fold these down just to make them look pretty, or you can trim that at the top, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually trim this card base down. Now, as you get used to this process, you'll work out where to put your template for different size cards so that they look nice and finished at the end. So now I've got my braided edge and it's looking really pretty. We need to decorate the card front. The first thing I'm going to do is add in a sentiment. I've got one on here that says there are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. So I'm going to use this one. This is a set from Ultinew. And of course with Ultinew we know we get fantastic quality stamps all the time. So just popping that on my stamping block. Now I don't believe I've used this particular sentiment before. So just to prepare my stamp, I'm going to bring in an eraser and I'm just going to brush over the top of that. And that's just going to take off any coating or any elements that have been left from the manufacturing process, and that will help us get a really lovely clear image. You may want to use a stamping platform or a load and fold or something like that. I'm just going to use this acrylic block and stamp that somewhere around about a third of the way up from the bottom there. So once you're happy with your sentiment, I'm now going to take some die cut pieces. These have come from my own Textures brand, the Floral Script collection, and I've just die cut out from one of the pattern papers, the florals here. So I just pop those out. I'm not sure I'll use all of these, but I've got lots of them cut anyway, and I'm going to start positioning these around that sentiment now. So we'll have some coming underneath the sentiment, some going over around the top, and some additional florals as well. So just building them up like so. There we go. So I'll just glue all of those down. Just to finish this off now, I'm going to take some Ultinew enamel dots. I'm going to choose one of the greens that work really well with the greens that are in the foliage here, and I think that's going to be the darker ones, but I'm going to choose the smaller dots. So they're contrasting, but they're not too much. So just placing these around the foliage here, around all those leaves, popping them in some gaps. And then I'll put a couple together just at the top here, and maybe one down here. I think I might put one as well just over by the sentiment here. There we go. So there's a lovely card, really simple, easy to do, with that braided edge that looks beautiful from both the inside, the outside and the reverse.